All right, then, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Eagerman's podcast. Today's guest is Ben Bassham.
Yeah,
Welcome, Ben.
thank you very much for having me. Yeah,
How was your journey from Norwich?
yeah, no, pretty easy going. I'm just glad I could actually make it today and didn't have to call it off.
Yeah, you were in the hospital, weren't you?
Yeah, it's been a pretty long week. I'm not gonna lie. It's I was literally in a hospital bed literally yesterday, messaging. So yeah, but that's why health is always very important. But yeah, glad I can still make it at least.
No, it does mean a lot to me for you to come all the way from Norwich for this podcast. So I do appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
For those of you who don't know you, who is Ben Bassham?
So pretty much my background is some people might have seen me on YouTube. That's probably where I most predominantly make a lot of my content. So at the moment, I am a degree apprentice.
Right.
So that's my 9 to 5.
Okay.
So I'm working at the moment in digital marketing, and I have been doing so for the past 3 years or so. I work for TUI, the travel company,
Right.
but I don't sell holidays or anything. I work at the head office basically, and I'm now sort of just joined their sort of like content department team.
Right.
So it pretty much goes hand in hand with what I do on the side. So I do that during the day, and then I'm also studying for my degree as well as part of that. Hence the degree apprenticeship. It's a paid for course and paid for degree, and that's in business management. And then I make my content all around sort of similar sort of topics, as well as pretty much like my life, pretty much.
Yeah.
And that is across all 3 platforms, but yeah, mainly YouTube. And they're the 2 biggest things I've got going on at the moment.
Right. And when did you start doing YouTube?
YouTube, I first posted, so I was 19 years old. So that would have been 2021.
Yeah.
Start of 2021, yeah. That was not the first time I made sort of content. I'd already had like a small background posting, and that was sort of predominantly like when TikTok came in.
Right.
But that was more just like skits, like just as people, like most people did.
Yeah.
I never danced. I definitely didn't do that.
Can't imagine you doing that.
No way. What you're saying? I can't dance? No. But yeah, it's just sort of like skits, and then I had like a group thing with my mates on YouTube, and like my very close group of mates I've had since school. All of us now do content, so I've always had that same group,
Right.
like a really close network of people that I can rely on and speak to about making content and just get advice on.
That's good, man, because you become the average of the people you surround yourself with.
100%.
So you've always had those guys around you from the get-go.
And to this day, I mean, a lot of us have been able to just grow individually, but also collectively as well. As I mentioned, I started with a group channel, which, as you can imagine, like a lot of mates, they think, oh yeah, let's start a YouTube channel for fun, and it doesn't really go anywhere. I'd probably say that happened with this. We haven't posted on it in like years. We just did it for about a year for fun.
Right.
But that was the first real way of like learning some of the skills that it took to make content basically, and a lot of us have learned from that. And the 4 of us that was part of that group, we've all gone on to do certain things. 2 of them now work in it full time, and then myself and then my other mate, we sort of do it on the side at the moment for now.
Right. Was it not daunting for you to put yourself out there in front of people? Like, did you not think about what your friends or family members or people from school would think of you
Yeah.
when they see you talking to a camera?
I'd be lying if I said that that wasn't the case.
Right.
Because that is definitely the first thing, the biggest barrier that people have to
Right.
posting anything.
Yeah.
I don't know if, like, about yourself, did you find that as well?
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, 1000%. This
Yeah.
was the biggest obstacle I had to overcome. What other people would think of me, because look, I was watching Alex Hormozy talk about this, right? And he dived into how, as humans, we are very careful of our reputation, right? And so this micro society that we're living in, we've got our own little reputation that needs to be maintained. And so deciding to put yourself out there in front of the world is daunting. It's scary because people,
Massively, yeah.
because people will judge you, people will criticize you, people will come at you from all different angles.
I'd say more so whilst you're in school, like that whole environment where everyone's very judgmental,
Yeah.
especially like high school, going through that. So I never really did it up until like leaving school, definitely, because I feel like it was a lot easier to be less judged. Also when I guess post pandemic, I didn't really see as many people as
Right.
before.
Right.
And that was kind of a way I feel like, well, people probably won't watch this. But then it turns out, I mean, you'd be surprised who does.
Yeah.
You get all sorts of comments of random people that you haven't spoken to in years, and they might message or say something. But yeah, you just, to be honest, to get around it, you really have just got to have the mindset of not caring what other people think. I know it's a lot easier said than done,
Yeah.
but you just have to have that mentality. Otherwise, you're going to fall into the trap of literally, obviously, just caring
Yeah,
too
yeah,
much.
yeah. I think it took me a while to tap into that mindset of not caring about what people would think of me.
Yeah,
But once I tapped into it, I just liberated myself from so much shit, you know? But one of the things that really helped me overcome this fear of what people would think of me was simply realizing that there's a whole another picture to this, you know? Like, I can either focus on creating content for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years, have a legitimate business, put myself out there, become a success, or I can worry about what people would think of me and always stay down there,
yeah,
you know? And it's so funny because once I started creating content consistently, I actually realized people are more respectful as opposed to judgmental.
yeah,
Like they would look at you and think,
definitely.
"Oh, hey, I saw you on a podcast." Like I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, yeah," and then they were like, "It's a good thing." I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because you'd be surprised. A lot of people really they want to do it.
yeah,
A lot of people, and they would envy anyone that actually does step out of that comfort zone and be able to post themselves.
yeah, yeah."
So yeah, like I said, they would envy
I was
you
actually
most,
thinking,
more likely so than judge you. Anyone that's already within the content space, like for example myself, I would never criticize anyone for posting, obviously, because that was me at one point starting out.
right?
So anyone, like, you'll never sort of, there's that phrase like you'll never get hate from below, but then it's also a case of it's just like any that I can relate to someone at least for at least trying. Um, yeah, you just also, if you do get any hate with it, you just got to ignore them. But you have to realize as well that a lot of people, when we said that a lot of people fear that people are judging them, you realize a lot of people actually, reality, don't care.
They don't care.
Like
They've got
everyone's
life to
so
deal with.
engrossed with their own life
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that the reality is that they're not going to be following you every single thing that you post.
That's
So,
true.
yeah, just do
And
it.
I mean, even if they do care or they do judge you, for how long are they going to do that? Like, you
Exactly.
know,
Yeah. And
couple of
eventually, if
weeks,
they really, they'll
months.
just unfollow you, and then what? You just, that's it.
True, true.
Probably for the best. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it's like one of the things I had to. The thing that I used to think at the beginning was I'm just not courageous enough to sit in front of a camera and talk. But then I had to realize, look, courage is not the absence of fear. It's doing something in spite of fear, you know? And
Yeah.
that's literally what makes you a courageous person when you're shit scared, but you still decide to sit in front of that camera and talk,
Yeah.
you know?
And don't get me wrong, like even now, I've been posting consistent on YouTube or as consistent as possible for over 4 years.
Okay.
And even now, I still think I get a bit of fear, I guess, when making content, more so in public, I'd say, rather than, because that's the next sort of step up. If you're in a public space and you can quite clearly see you've got a camera and you're gonna get attention regardless. So yeah, I've done that a couple times.
Right. Is that like?
The first time I did it, especially because of the topic of the video, we were like going around literally like cold approaching girls and asking them questions in the
Right.
street. We weren't like cold approaching like hitting on them. We were just like genuinely just asking them questions for a YouTube video. And that is something as a guy is very that will put you out your comfort zone very quickly, especially if you're not like I wouldn't say I'm very introverted, but I'd say I have a very introverted life. Like I'm very
Right.
head down, work, don't necessarily socialize too much. I try to get a balance when I can, but most of the time I'm spending sort of inside editing work. I work from home as well, so I spend a lot of time just sort of working. So when I'm out in these situations and I'm recording videos in public, it's the complete opposite dilemma. You've got to be that guy just to be confident and go up to people and just be like, would you like to be in a YouTube video? Of course, ask them before. And then you do that whole interaction with people. You've got to be naturally, yeah, you can't be introverted in that scenario. So
Yeah.
for me personally, that was a very big type of video to get me out of my comfort zone. And that's helped me for future videos.
And there are different levels to this shit, right? It's like talking to a mic without a camera is one thing, and then talking to a mic with a camera is another thing, and then going out there and speaking in public and filming yourself is a totally different ball game. So, and it's funny because the more you step out of your comfort zones, the more you realize, oh wait, I'm actually capable of doing this.
Yeah.
You know, and your confidence just goes higher and higher, right? Like, I am much more confident today than I was 3 months ago, only
Yeah.
because of a little bit of consistency.
Yeah.
And I haven't even tapped into my David Goggins mode yet. And I wonder what's going to happen once I tap into that mode.
Yeah.
You know, it's just going to skyrocket my progression. But you are obviously juggling between multiple things at the same time, right? So you've got your
It's an understatement. Yep. Yeah.
your job, you've got your social media
Yes.
content, got a business as well.
So I've had multiple sort of side hustles, I'd say.
Right.
YouTube was also one of them. But in the past, like my content used to generally be around side hustles as well. Like
Right.
I've definitely done a fair few. Right now, at this current moment in time, I've kind of had to. I wanted to sort of solely focus on a fair few things and not diversify my time over loads of things, because it's better to just be more focused in on one. So I'd say across outside of what I've already mentioned, I kind of use the organic traffic from YouTube to just basically fund a community as well. So I've been trying to grow. It's completely free at the moment. I do offer a paid course. So I basically made an editing course.
Right.
So I released that sort of the start of last year, and I instantly got some sales as soon as I launched it.
Oh wow.
And that instantly like paid for the software that I used to run the community for like a good couple months.
Right.
I use School, Hormozzi's platform.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because it's literally between that and WAP,
Right.
Iman Ghazi's platform.
Yeah.
But yeah, I already stuck with School. So I've slowly been growing that sort of along the side, just organically. I don't do anything paid for that, other than the payment of the software. That's literally it. How I've done it is just like how I see it is I'd rather be paying for it and just contributing to that every month and just building that over time. It's not my sole focus at the moment, but I've just got it because ideally, right now my biggest focus outside of YouTube is obviously like I'm in my last year of my course,
Right.
and it is a lot of time.
Yeah.
So basically, once I graduate in a year's time, I will need to have something because I'm literally going to sacrifice my salary. So I'm gone from that comfort of having that guaranteed income to what's going to be potentially absolutely not nothing, but I'm taking a big pay cut to then pursue what I want to and work for myself from September next year.
Right, because your job at the moment can fund your side hustles and
Yes. I mean, having said that, a lot of my income from YouTube has funded everything that I've done with
Oh, wow.
YouTube. Yeah. So I'd say that just through AdSense, I don't do any sponsorships or promotions or anything
Yeah,
like that because I've never wanted to be a sellout at this point. So
Right.
right now, at the time we're talking, was about I'm coming up to like 22,000 subscribers. And well, even though subscriber count doesn't matter in terms of how much you get paid from YouTube, it's all basically off monetized views. In terms of AdSense, where AdSense has been my number one income for YouTube, that is mainly sort of subsidized. Like for example, I did a trip in Thailand just over a year ago, and for 2 weeks I spent the money, obviously the flights being the main cost, and while I was out there, it's very cheap.
Yeah.
But one of my videos completely paid for the trip
Oh wow.
since going there and then editing and posting it over the period of yeah, definitely by now it's paid it off.
Can be a pretty lucrative source of
Oh,
income
100%.
if you
100%. If
do
you
it
can,
right.
if you can get the views consistently, yes.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot easier though to use it as organic traffic
Right.
for a business, I'd say so.
Which is what I'm pretty much doing with the Eagerman.
Yeah, exactly that.
I'm trying to build a base of audience, a strong community that are
Yeah.
sort of into the same things as I am, and then sort of drive traffic from there to purchase the supplement, which is coming out soon.
Yeah.
But what exactly, what is fueling your ambition? Because you're obviously doing so many things at the same time, and you are a very ambitious person, right? Where does this motivation come from?
I'd say from a very early age, I've always been naturally driven. I'd say I've always worked. I've always had a job. Like since I was 15, I've like whether it be like just starting in a pub washing up for like £4.12 an hour,
Yeah.
to then I used to do that, and then run like used to work on like a pick your own site. So I was on £8 an hour. So like at the same time, like bear in mind when you're in school, and I remember like when we had you have that massive summer after year 11.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was like, yeah, I can do this. Like, I've got loads of free time. I literally just worked because I just saw the money coming in. So I thought, yeah, I've always been, I don't want to say like money motivated, but along the lines.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But I don't want to say sort of like that I put money on a pedestal, but I'd say that's definitely been, I'd say, yeah, it has been a motivator, I guess. I think as a lot of guys should strive to.
You know, does money make you happy? Don't know, but money solves a lot of your money related problems.
Yeah.
So let's just say that money is a very important part of your life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Was there a part of you that was hungry to be independent?
Yeah, I've never really. So after working quite a few jobs, so I've been working now for 10 years across different
Oh wow. Yeah.
sectors, corporate life, retail, etc. I've always wanted to work for myself. That's a given, because I just think time is the most valuable asset anyone can have, and you need to be in control of it. That's just how I see it. I'd much rather, okay, at this point in time in my life, I can sacrifice having to still do the 9 to 5 and use it to fund my own endeavors. But later on in life, I really don't want to be like, because eventually I want to have a family. I want to have kids, and I don't want to be not turning up to something that my kid does because I'm somewhere else and being told I can't be there.
Yeah.
I kind of learned that from my own parents. I come from a background of both my parents are police officers.
Right.
So it's like quite a strict upbringing. But I've also seen the side where they worked a lot, like night shifts, constantly tired, backwards and forwards, didn't really get to see each other, didn't really spend loads of time together.
Right.
And it's like, I've always seen that side, and it's like, I don't want that for myself.
Was there a part of you that thought, my parents are working so hard, perhaps I can do something for them?
There's definitely that element, yeah. Now, fortunately, my mum is in a lot better position, but I know also when it comes to more like financially, my parents aren't the best when it comes to that. And there's a lot of, you do learn a lot from your parents, even if they don't directly try teach you something. Indirectly, you will learn stuff from their mistakes. All the
time, yeah.
Exactly. And I've learned quite a lot from both what they've taught me, but also their mistakes. And I've kind of been able to use that and think, okay, like even now at my age, I'm telling my dad and my mum, oh, do this like with your money. Like it's like what you do. How have you not been investing since you were like 18 years old? Yeah. Definitely from that perspective, I would like to naturally provide definitely for my family and future family. That's a big part of it as well. That gives me drive. Also, just kind of like purpose as well. I like the idea of having a more purposeful life.
Yeah.
Because I always find that I guess that's kind of what I believe like your 20s are for, sort of like 18 all the way up to like your 30.
Right.
That you should spend your time trying to find what you really believe that you should be doing and what your purpose is. I kind of feel like I've had that, but I'm kind of that it all evolves.
Yeah, I think it might not be okay to work your entire life away, but I think it's definitely okay to work your 20s away.
Yeah.
This is the time of
your
life.
You think so?
You need to. Yeah, I do think so. I think this is the time of your life when you have the energy to go out there and try as many things as you can and fail and learn and get back up again. You know, it's much easier for you to fail on a business venture when you're 23 and get back up again than it is for you to fail at the age of 45, because you've got a lot of liability and a lot to lose out on.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. But going back to the ambition part, like I definitely look at my life, and one of the things that gave birth to my ambition was looking at life and sort of seeing or realizing that, hold on a second, I am here at the moment. This is my family situation. This is what my parents are doing. We don't have much money coming in. And then there's a world out there that's completely different. Now, what does it take to go from here to there? That's something that ignited my curiosity. And ever since then, I was like, okay, I think entrepreneurship is the answer. I'm not sure. I might be wrong here, but I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
And like ever since then I've just been super ambitious to like build a business of my own and become independent.
Do you feel like you could be better? You just feel like there's more out there for you. There's more to life than
Yeah,
what you've always known
100%,
it. Yeah.
100%. Look, I love my job at the moment, right? I work in a hotel. I am a hotel duty manager. The job has it has opportunities, right? I have the skills that are needed to succeed in this role, in this industry, right? I'm passionate for it. But there's a part of me that believes there's more to life, and that there's a part of me that's screaming for more. It's like I can do more than this, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why that's where the ambition comes from.
It's very easy to see through social media what life could be like.
Mm.
I guess on the flip side to what you're saying, it's very easy to also fall in the trap of believing, I guess, and seeing what could be is like the new normal of what people expect from what they see online. Like you see a lot of guys with flashy cars and in Dubai, Rolexes. It's very impressionable to people our age and younger as well as a guy. That I guess it's just being mindful that to still be grateful for a position that you might still be in. I guess it's extremely. I don't know. Like, it's extremely good to be ambitious.
Yeah.
Likewise, like I feel like everyone could be striving to be better and do more, but at the same time, yeah, still being quite grounded because not everything you see through social media is real.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
there's a lot of like the sort of the mundane stuff that we don't necessarily see. So yeah, I mean, do you find that like have you ever found yourself being impressionable to something you've seen on social media and thought like, oh, I'm gonna go buy this, or you haven't?
No, no, I
No,
wouldn't say I let social media control me like that.
that's good.
Never,
Yeah,
never. With me, it's more about that quote from Nietzsche. He once said, "I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the best and the greatest," something like that, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And for me, it's like that mindset. Like you ask yourself, what is the meaning of life? What is the purpose of life? Don't go down that rabbit hole, man. You know,
Yeah,
just work, 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 and keep yourself distracted, and bang.
yeah.
That's how I think.
That's
Simple.
how you think.
You know,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But you're right. I mean, social media can be very, very toxic, and it's certainly affecting a lot of young people out there because they would look at someone showing their life with and think, "Oh shit, my life is miserable. Why isn't my life like that?" When in reality, the person, showing his Lamborghini won't show him being depressed, right? So totally get you, totally get you on that part. So going back to the young men part, do you think that young men should spend their 20s working and finding themselves, or do you think they should go out there, travel, and have fun, or a bit of both? What do you think?
from my experience so far, so I'm now 24, which pains me to say because I feel like an old man saying that. I would say it's. I've always been an advocate for working hard, like and just constant work. Like as I've just mentioned before, like I've always had money coming in, working, whether it be multiple jobs at the same time while studying. Even like what I do now is just a degree apprenticeship. That alone is time consuming enough, let alone I have to sacrifice a lot of my personal time, if not all of it, really, to do YouTube.
Right.
I couldn't be doing YouTube if I had a bigger social life, for example. There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that it depends what you want. If you want to, if you're very ambitious with your career, I'd say that I am. I'd class my career as I'd ideally want my career, I say, is to be in the content space. Then yeah, you have to put in a lot of work. It's not
Mm.
just gonna. You can't just expect to work 4 hours a week or 4 hours a day and expect to get somewhere. So I would say, in sort of long story short, yes. However, there's an element that you still need to go out there in your 20s and try things,
Hmm.
and there's no harm in trying a lot of things and failing, as we've said before, that this is the time where to just where you haven't got so many dependencies on yourself and you can take risk
Right.
with anything you do. So, for example, like one of my mates completely was a state agent, quit his job, does content full time, but he had no guaranteed income. Like you don't when you're going into it.
Yeah.
and now he's doing it full time. And I look at him, and he's one of my best mates, and I think, yeah, that's exactly the routes that I want to go down, and I'm kind of preparing myself for.
Right.
And I'll be 25 when that happens, turning 25 when that happens. So,
Yeah.
um, I'd say, like, because I mean, I've done a lot of traveling as well.
Right.
Fortunate to been doing that partly because of what I work in as well, is that industry. And I'd say I'm a massive advocate for that at the same
Right.
time.
Right.
Now, it doesn't mean like you should spend all your time just traveling, because a lot of it is just a lot of people just going there and just getting pissed. Like, not all the time, but it's a big part of it. And I'm not necessarily one. I've had the odd occasion where, yeah, I go out and have a drink, but there's a lot more to it than that.
Right.
But there is a lot of people that I guess might fall into that trap, and then you just got to find a really good balance of being able to maintain your work and then still be able to incorporate travel if you can.
Yeah. I mean, what your friend did, first of all, requires a lot of faith.
Yeah, oh yeah, massively.
He must be a risk taker for him to sort of give up on his job and start something of his own.
Yeah, I'd say that a lot of people just need to have more belief in themselves and how much you can achieve in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Because he's been able to achieve that he's classed as full time from the get go, even though he weren't exactly making much at the time. He literally, when he decided to make that decision to go all in, I can probably vouch that he wasn't making much then.
Yeah.
But now he can fund his travels quite clearly. So
Yeah.
it takes time, but you'll realize how much you can achieve within 6 to 12 months that you would be in a job. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, if you're making progress at a job you're not happy with, imagine what you could do if you were doing something you genuinely loved.
Yeah.
Right? The amount of progress you would make then.
Yeah.
And going back to the idea of self-belief, a lot of people underestimate the power of genuinely believing in yourself. Like, it changes the game completely, you know? Because I've gone from not believing in myself to believing in myself, and like the progress I've made throughout that time period is just insane. It's mad.
So how long have you been when you first made your first piece of content? So it has been, you say, 3 months, you say something?
No. So it's only been 3 months since I started sort of taking it seriously, started staying consistent. I started creating content a couple years ago, but I've got like 50 videos on archive on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Because they're so shit. Yeah.
What, you archived them because you're embarrassed?
Yeah, I was embarrassed. I wasn't happy
Okay.
with the quality, the amount of value that was being offered in those videos. Like, I was very, very fearful of what people would think of me.
Can I try to change your perspective on that?
Sure, please.
When it comes to like archiving previous content, if you look through some quite big creators, you will find Marcus Browley is a good one, or Eman Ghazi, and go back to their oldest videos. They've not archived anything. They might have at some point, but they've kept their old videos live.
Yeah.
And that's because it shows how their authentic side of them. It shows that where they started from and where to then you can see that growth that they've had, and a lot of people can relate to that. And looking at previous content of yourself, they don't care. Like the video quality is massive. Like Eman Ghazi now has a whole production team and loads of people working for it. Back then it was just himself with a camera, and just seeing that transformation, a lot of people will be able to relate to him a lot more and think, oh yeah, why can't I do that? He started off doing like that. He didn't start as this face and this having loads of businesses and what he is now.
Yeah.
So for someone that can actually see that whole journey, people are more likely to relate to you, and that's exactly what you want. You want that more engaged, relatable audience. So that's the only thing I'd say with like, I get it. Why you wouldn't, why you want to hide pieces of content. But you'd be surprised that, let's say like continuing on with the journey, I wouldn't be surprised if you continue doing these podcasts that you might get people that trickle back to these videos and think, oh yeah, this is where he started. So
I could make a million excuses, but I 1000% agree with you, right?
Yeah.
Because if you were to look at some of my older videos, I'm literally in my bedroom.
Okay.
You can see my bed on the side, my bookshelf at the back, and I'm just talking about whatever that comes to my mind.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going out for for a walk out in the park, and I would take my camera with me and just start talking. It's these type of videos,
Yeah.
right? I was a little embarrassed, but you're 100% right. When people see that transformation, when they see that journey, when they see you change over a certain period of time, they start to respect you because, you didn't just start as a perfectionist in this studio with this amazing backdrop with this 4K camera quality. There was a time when you were walking through the park with a Samsung Galaxy S8 Edge or whatever trying to film content.
For me, it was iPhone 11. That's
For
what.
years,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I 1000% agree with you.
And also, this is kind of more related to the platform itself of YouTube. That's also another reason why I chose to start posting on YouTube rather than other platforms, because although I would say I now post more on some of the others, or equally, YouTube as a platform is great because it's so easy to look at old content, and old content still will come through the algorithm
Right.
more likely so than TikTok. Like, it's very hard to go back and find a really old TikTok for someone specifically, unless you're predominantly really searching for it. But YouTube, anything can be recommended to you on the feed that's like been posted years ago. So that's why I like the whole platform as itself. It's a lot more evergreen, and as you build your audience, the idea of them to then consume a lot of your older videos as well. That's kind of
Right.
how I've always viewed it.
Right.
Um,
So, if we're talking about building a base of audience,
yes, yeah,
would YouTube be the best platform for that?
100%.
Yeah.
Even Mr. Beast, he says like he doesn't even recognize anyone is as a content creator if they're not on YouTube. They could be like on other platforms, but
Right.
as YouTube as a base,
Right.
like say for example, right now because I'm always assessing this whether I continue the path I'm going down, which is focusing on long form content, or I could go down the route of like some of my mates who make a good amount of money on TikTok through their program, and just start pumping out a load of short form, growing my other socials and maybe posting shorts as well. But my long form videos will always be there. They're
Right.
never gonna. It's so easy for like a TikTok account, in my opinion, to die out versus a YouTube channel because
I get
the
you.
amount of content that exists. And YouTube's, as I just said, with the algorithm, it's very good at pulling through older videos.
Right.
A lot of my views right now, in the past 24 hours, if I opened up my YouTube studio, will be from older videos because of how I make my videos as to be evergreen. So they'll last long on YouTube search. That's the
Right.
idea of it.
Right.
So that as long as they're still ranked quite high on YouTube search, which will rank high on Google search, they'll predominantly keep bringing in views passively.
Right.
So it's more passive of a content platform versus the others, in my opinion, from the experience I've had so far, I'd say. Because with others, you see a lot of creators, they'll talk about you need to post every single time, like every day,
Yeah.
and be consistent with that. YouTube isn't the case.
Right.
You have to be consistent, but not to that extent. It's definitely all about quality over quantity
Oh, you think so?
content, 100%.
Yeah, I did put a lot of emphasis on the quality of my video. So like I had to make sure I get my backdrop right, my camera
Yeah.
quality right, I
Nice.
get my mic right, and
Yeah.
this is one of the reasons why I archived a lot of my old videos because the
Okay.
quality just wasn't there,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So
I understand that.
yeah. But I think I might go back and unarchive them because you know what the truth is, right? The sort of stuff I'm talking about in those videos, the topics are relatable to people. Like I'm discussing a lot of self-improvement, fitness,
Yeah.
success, mindset.
Whereas as I go back to Pooh's point about transformation, you'll be able to see side by side exactly how much you've grown in that time. And if it's especially related to the same topic, like if it is what you used to talk about is still on the wavelength of self
Yeah,
improvement,
yeah. It's
then
like people will know that I stick by my words, right?
yeah,
What I say is consistent.
unarchive them vids. Definitely.
I
Yeah.
think I will. I think I will. I've had a lot of people tell me that I should focus on Instagram and TikTok more than YouTube. And I mean, I get where they're coming from because on TikTok and Instagram, your videos have a higher chances of like spreading. However, I feel like YouTube is the platform for building a genuine base of audience because it's better to have 100 people on YouTube that stick around until the very end, watch your videos and subscribe, than to have 1,000 people who will watch your clip for 10 seconds on TikTok or Instagram, then scroll away or even follow you. What do you
Okay,
think
I'll
about
ask
that?
you a question that will probably answer it for you.
Sure.
Can you name off the top of your head? I'm not going to ask you specifically, but do you reckon you could name 10 YouTube videos or long form videos off the top of your head that you've watched in like the self improvement space or anything like a podcast? Do you reckon 10? Good.
not 10, but like, yeah, for sure. There are quite a lot of
Could
them
you
out.
name 10 TikToks?
No, no, absolutely not.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So already you understand just from that psychologically that we're more likely to remember longer form content.
right, right.
So how you see it is a film you have to be properly engrossed in, and you're watching it over, span of a couple
Yeah,
hours.
yeah,
TikTok, very easy, obviously 10 seconds, however long it is, even if it's a minute long, you might remember parts of it, but it's very hard because of how the algorithms work with you're swiping along. You can't, like, you'll spend probably about an hour on TikTok and not remember half the stuff you've just consumed.
mm,
I'd say over the long period of time, if you can get an audience that are watching longer form version of content of you, I would say you're much more likely to build that credible audience base. However, with short form, there is that obviously you're going to get a lot more reach, or
right,
the chance of getting a lot more reach is a lot more easier.
right.
Um, However, I don't know, people's attention spans, yes, they've got a lot
I was
worse.
just about to
Yeah.
ask you on that.
Um, and that's where the whole like retention editing came in, like the whole Mr. Beast effect on
Yeah,
YouTube. Like
yeah,
everyone started making content in his style. But then I think there's also a side where people just thought that's way too much. There's people online that have performed well and made a name for themselves doing all different types, like Sam Sulek, complete opposite to Mr. Beast,
yeah.
like very slow paced, just raw, him in the gym, him in the car talking, and people loved it, and he grew very quickly because it was so different.
And it was
It's like a
relatable. People, yeah,
exactly, and it's almost like a fresher breath of air, his type of content versus all of this in your face, high editing.
yeah,
And I've kind of felt as if like, I mean, I spend a lot of time editing my videos, and I've kind of felt like, okay, maybe I don't need to spend as much time sort of down the route of like retention editing. Um, Obviously, high retention rates on YouTube is what pushes your YouTube video. That's how it performs well. But I'd say, yeah, overall, there's no real right answer to the content.
mm,
Basically, is what I'm trying to say, because you could be great at a specific type of content, and then just keep going with that. So, in other words, I'd say that just try a load of different things, different platforms,
right.
see what works.
Yeah,
That's what I'd say. Just find out what works first, especially just starting out. Find what will get you, like, gets loads of interest in your topic, and then just double down on that and just
right.
improve little bits on.
Yeah, because one of the challenges I'm having at the moment is my average view duration on
Okay.
YouTube videos. So like,
Okay.
if I'm,
You post in podcasts, right? So they're quite long.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, these podcasts I do them once every 3 to 4 weeks, right? But like on a day-to-day basis, I'm just posting token videos, and they
Okay.
would be on average anywhere between 6 to 12 minutes long.
And on those videos, you're saying that you have quite bad.
Yeah, on those
Okay.
short videos, yeah, but
Okay.
are between 6 to 12 minutes, and like my
Okay.
average view duration would be anywhere between 2 to 3 minutes. So one of the things I'm gonna start implementing now is stronger hooks for my videos, because I'm not doing that at the moment,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So that should hopefully, let's see how that works. But what would your advice be to increase
Is this on long form?
long form video,
Um,
talking head videos? Yeah.
to be honest, I've never really bothered with hooks as such with long form. I see it's more about the emotion you want someone to feel with
Yeah.
that, especially. You want them to watch video anything and actually come away from it and think, oh yeah, like I can actually really relate to that, or I really like. You just want them you want to tap
Connect
into
with
their
that
emotion. Yeah,
video.
definitely
Yeah,
connect.
you want
Yeah,
to walk away thinking, wow, I felt some type of wave from
exactly.
watching that video.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's a lot harder to do that through short form. But if you're getting someone to watch a lot of consume a lot of the duration of a long form video, it's much easier to get and tap into that. So I'd say more focus on that. With hooks, that's a lot more prominent with short form, I'd say, because with short form, you've got to remember that the YouTube video, they've already clicked on your video, they've had an interest in that topic, so already you could have like the best of hooks, but they're likely going to watch a bit of it if they've clicked on it. They're not going to just kind of click on it and think, oh, nah, next. Unless you've got like a massive intro. So don't do big intros, because that will just ruin your
Right.
average
Yeah. Yeah.
duration. But compared to short form, they're seeing it already. So you have to make sure that they're sort of hooked in, hence the hook, before they swipe along. With long form, it's not as important, I think, at least anyway.
Right, right. Okay, well, I'm just at a stage where I'm just trying a bunch of different things and I'm just basically
Do you
seeing what
script your
works and
videos?
what doesn't. So I would write a script for my talking head videos,
Okay.
just like a generic script so that I don't lose track of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then I was in front of the camera and talk.
Yeah. Maybe just focus on more like the structure of the videos and just think like, talk about something like a pain point with, obviously it's in the line of self-improvement. So it could be a pain point someone's had with a specific issue, and then come along to the solution of it and then say like what someone can do, but leave at the end of the video. You
Right.
always try bring like the main body or the the outcome to the video definitely like towards the end. You want to, because the idea is obviously to keep them watching.
Mm.
Um, so, but I try to not think of YouTube too much, even though it is a business and I earn from it. I
Yeah.
try not to think of it too much like that. I always see myself as quite creative as well. So I
Right.
prefer to tap into that side of things rather than it being so structured like, oh yeah, business, money,
Right.
like,
I get you.
because then it doesn't become much more of a passion and it feels like you're doing it for money and you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Right.
And that's a way I try to stay more creative. And so like for example, a video over 8 minutes long is going to earn a lot more than a video that's 5 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
because you can get more mid-roll ads
Right.
so you make more on AdSense,
Yeah.
likely if it gets more views. But sometimes when I make videos, I would be absolutely just putting on crap at the end of a video if it was only 5 minutes long and I was just adding on bits just to make it 8 minutes long. Whereas I know I'd rather want someone to consume the whole video,
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes, and then that way the average view duration, I'm not hurting it, and the retention, I'm not hurting that metric as well. And then the video is going to probably do better anyway as a 5 minute video than it would an 8 minute video.
Yeah.
And in the long run, I'll probably earn more off that regardless, even if I tried to make it 8. So I try to make I just try and make the best possible videos as possible,
Right.
which is what I'd say in your case,
Yeah.
and not try think of, because I'm not sure, you're not monetized yet, are you?
No, not yet. No.
But when you get to that point, you might start thinking, oh yeah, I can make longer videos, and because you'll probably make more off it with the mid
Yeah.
ads. But I would try just to see it as less more of a business, more so. Well, I guess in your case, you're using it for organic traffic, aren't you?
Yeah.
So it's like hand in hand with a business, but it's also, you got to remember, I've got to think like, what are you making the content for? Like, who?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, even though I'm using it for organic marketing, I love talking about the sort of stuff I talk about. You
Yeah,
know? So it's
yeah.
like I'm excited to sit in front of the camera and talk about the different challenges that young men are facing in today's modern world, how they can better themselves, you know, share my life stories, etc., etc. So that's something that I've noticed, like in your videos as well. Your videos, you don't make them for the purpose of just making money. You make them because you just enjoy doing certain things like backpacking out in wild, camping, you know, doing a bunch of trying out different experiences.
Yeah.
Is that something you enjoy doing?
So it's a great way. I'm glad you brought that up, because if I was to see YouTube as pure money, I would not be making the content I make.
I hear you.
Because as you probably
I hear
are
you.
aware, different topics on YouTube get paid different. You get a different payout depending on the ad that's at the start of the video. So, for example, in the finance space, you're going to get paid a lot more for the same amount of views than you would on a video about gaming. And I've noticed different CPMs because I've made content in a lot of different niches.
Right.
I've been really bad and I've never really niched down too much. I could have grown a lot quicker by now if I had really stuck to a niche. So
Right.
I like to see it as I make content at the moment. I make content based off my life because I see it as a personal documentary. That's kind of how I like to view my channel, because someday in the future I will eventually show my kids my videos. Like I don't know. I just like it as like a time capsule, like a very small time
Yeah, I
capsule,
agree with you. I agree.
and that's why I try and show my personality in my videos. That's why I try show a lot more of my personal side, and not just me sitting down like this is what I'm working on, and just as much as talking to camera piece videos are good.
Yeah,
I like to vary it up and actually show more like vlog style and sort of like me at
yeah,
the moment
yeah.
doing things.
Um, I mean, I've definitely thought about my kids watching my videos.
You have, yeah,
One
yeah.
day, yeah, just me talking about self-improvement and XYZ, and so I try to be as authentic as I possibly can be in my videos.
Yeah, because I just think they're nice to look back on. Some of the ones that have done well for me, as well. Like my most viewed one, my Muay Thai, the video I did to try Muay Thai in Thailand.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I sometimes go back to that and think, oh yeah, that was pretty cool. Like even for myself, like I want to try do it again. Um, and some of the videos, even if they don't do well, I like to look at them and look back on them. So, but having said that, there's you got to balance it because if you want to make it a career, there's an element of you have to make it work and play the game,
yeah,
and that's what I'm trying to get better at is playing the game of YouTube. So, I've really tried to strategize my content going forwards and think what's the best route path for me because I'm not gonna lie, like I've had videos that have absolutely flopped. I've had videos that have done really well.
right, yeah,
So I'm still working it out, even with my current following. But I'd say that, um, yeah, because nothing's stagnant and nothing like your content always evolves as you evolve as a person,
yeah,
especially like the type of content I make where it's so personal. I mean, I started off with finance content, then I went into doing side hustles, then I was
yeah.
in the
You've had a lot
TikToks,
of pivots in your
exactly,
career, right?
and now
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fitness, travel, fighting, like it's
You've done a bit of
a
everything.
bit of everything, yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that I have an idea in my head of what I want to make and
Right.
going forwards,
Yeah.
and I just need to hone in on that. Um, yeah,
You've got quite a few videos on your channel about you camping out in the wild, backpacking, traveling to places, spending time in nature. Is that something you enjoy doing?
massively,
Really?
yeah, yeah, definitely.
What about that?
So in terms of traveling
Right.
first, I've done a couple long haul trips. I think well, the first ever trip I did to Thailand, that was kind of just a bit of an eye opener for me because I've done a lot of Europe and I've always lived in the UK. But going further afield, I'd recommend anyone to do because, well, just experiencing a whole different culture, and then not only is it just good because you get perspective on a lot
I
of
get you.
things.
But was there an element of risk there, like going from one country to another on your own? Did you go on your own or with your...
So I met one of my mates out there, but
Right.
I spent a week by myself in Thailand, and I've spent pretty much a week by myself in the Philippines as well. The two countries you think like it's the other side of the world. A lot of people would be fearful of solo traveling. Part of me is just like I don't really care, and I kind of like I should care more about like the risk involved, but I'm
Yeah.
just very um yeah, I'm a bit sort of oblivious to certain things.
Right.
I just go and do it.
A
Yeah,
ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what it's meant for, right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
just
That's a
have
good
to
way of
go out there and bloody
yeah,
experiment things,
yeah,
try,
yeah.
take
Just
risks, fail.
yeah, you just have to put yourself out there and do just try a lot more. I I'd say to that is that I'd just say I like to just try a lot of new things, and that's kind of like it goes hand in hand with content, but also for me personally because there's that whole like phrase like dad law, like you know what I mean by that, where it's just like once you become like I talk about being a parent again, like once you get to that point in time and you kind of like show your kids, oh, look all the cool things your dad used to do when he was younger, and he's like, oh, I'm up in England just wild camping in a coffin tent above the clouds, or whether it be like, I don't know, randomly in a cave in the Philippines with a random man that I just met in a jungle, like just the most weirdest things that are
Yeah,
out there.
yeah.
But that's how I'd like to view it because it's just cool, I guess, as well. But yeah, like with yourself, I know you mentioned earlier about liking camping.
Yeah, I mean it's
Uh,
something I've started doing recently. So I've started hiking a lot recently. So I would
Yeah,
just hop on the train, go outside of London, walk for 20 to 25, 30 kilometers.
So you kind of, yeah, so you don't live too far from London. So you're kind of, would you say you're sort of more city life versus countryside in terms of like what you've been brought up in, like the area you
Yeah,
live
I
in
was
is,
brought up in city.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for you, getting to the countryside is a massive thing because, like,
It is. I love
yeah,
it. It's like it's
yeah,
something new for me. It's so peaceful and quiet. It's not
yeah,
something I'm used to,
yeah.
And so I like to sort of escape every now and then and just go on long hikes, spend some time on my own,
It's
stay away from my mobile phone.
Yeah, it's what we're built for. It's not. I don't think as much as cities are nice. I don't think it's not natural for us to be in an environment where
Oh
we're not
yeah.
surrounded by
I feel
nature.
like this is relatively new to humanity.
It
I
is.
think we've spent most of our time out there, in nature, in the
Yeah.
forests and jungles. I think these tall buildings and technology, and this is relatively new and we're still adapting.
I mean, we could go on a massive rabbit hole here about health, being in nature versus sort of being surrounded,
Yeah.
built up cities like London. But I guess, yeah, from that point of view, I'd say it's just. I mean, I went wild camping in the Lake District.
Right. I saw
Uh,
that video, yeah.
Very, very nice place. I mean, that's a lot of people I'd like to say hate on the UK, or when it comes to like a lot of people in the UK, they're so quick to be like, I want to get away,
Oh
I need to
yeah,
get
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
don't be wrong, I've been a culprit of that as well, and be like, I need to escape.
Right, right.
But there's so many nice places that we take for granted
1000% agree with you.
that like Lake District, Peak District, anything natural outside the cities, I'd
Even
say.
English
Cornwall.
countryside is beautiful.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, exactly.
gorgeous.
And that is what I've been very fortunate growing up in. Where I'm from in Norfolk, I've my parents had a caravan sort of like holiday home in North Norfolk, and a lot of people go there to retire, work in London, the cities, and go there. And that has literally like been my childhood, going up there weekends, like being in the woods, learning to ride a bike in like massive fields, being by the coast. I've always lived by a beach,
Really?
and I've learned that's quite a rare thing. Like not a lot of people can say that in the UK. So yeah, I've been very, very fortunate growing up like that, and I think that's kind of what I'd also want as a childhood for my own kids eventually, being somewhere that's in a countryside setting, definitely,
Mm.
whether it be in this country or another country. But I've talked about a lot about kids. I'm not having kids anytime soon. I'm not even with anyone, but
You
like
just seem like
it's
a
just
family man.
yeah, it's just something that I guess it's just in the back of my head. Um, is something I want to do in my life, whenever it may be. Not now, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
one day. But yeah, just on the countryside bit, yeah. And just I'd vouch anyone to just, if you do live in a major city, or if you're in more of like a built up area, just go to these places and go on hikes. There's nothing more rewarding than just being.
That's true.
I mean, it's so good, beneficial for your health as well. I did Snowdon as well, actually in winter. That was a whole other ball game because that was very icy.
Right. Imagine, yeah, challenge.
But that was then it was just cool. It's
Yeah,
just like
yeah. I feel like sometimes spending, not sometimes, in fact, all the time, when you go out there in nature and you spend some time, your mind, it just empties out a little, right?
yes,
And it's clutter
it's
free.
detox.
Yeah, you're detoxing basically. It's
Massively, yeah.
dopamine detox, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly. That's literally what it was for me.
yeah,
Because when you're out there, you're not going to get phone service when you're so high up as well.
yeah, yeah.
I'd say that's probably one of my favorite trips I've done. So the detox I did literally doing snow, that was like a whole day in itself, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to go on my phone,
Yeah,
and I didn't need to because you're surrounded with your mates.
yeah.
And then the trip I did in the Lake District, that was 5 nights camping. I say wild camping, and I guess wild camping's the next stage up to just going and hiking, because it was like both are good, but obviously you're literally surviving on what you've got on your back, but doing that with your mates, like you're never really gonna get moments like that where you sort of just all sitting there. We were like, there was no clouds in the sky, there was no one around us, watching all these like asteroids go past because there's no light pollution there. It's completely quiet in nature.
Yeah.
There's nothing more like, how many people do you know can just say that they've done that? And
Do these experiences like shape the way you look at life?
yeah, yeah, massively,
Yeah.
because it just makes you feel grateful for certain things in that like, for example, I mean, it made me feel grateful to have like hot showers again after that. But
Yeah,
like,
it's the little things, right?
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
massively, yeah. um
Yeah, I
but
mean, when I hiked for like 25 miles or something, I was
yeah,
knackered. By the time I got back home, I just wanted to crash on my bed, and in that moment,
yeah,
I was so grateful for my bed.
yeah.
You
Well,
know?
well, if we talk about sort of how we are today and as like a modern society, we take a lot of things for granted. As I just mentioned, like we didn't even have hot showers like 200 years ago. Like it wasn't even a thing.
Yeah,
And for us to just like normal, just like, yeah, wake up, have a hot shower, and going and doing experiences that are a little bit more out of the ordinary, like
right.
wild camping,
Yeah,
you'll become more um humbled, I'd
it
say.
does humble you.
Yeah,
Yeah, because there's
massively.
so much out there.
Yeah, yeah. And but it makes you feel like our ancestors at one point in time, like that was not something they did for fun. That was what they had to actually do, like camp out underneath the stars, like
Yeah,
before, like when we were talking years ago. But yeah, where as much as we say like there's so many problems in our day-to-day lives and a lot of people complain, um, this we still have a lot of things to be grateful for.
100%. I feel like gratitude is the secret to happiness.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I think. You know, I
yeah,
feel like a lot of people take what they have for granted. You know, like you should be grateful for every little thing. Be grateful for the shoes you're wearing, the clothes you have,
exactly.
breakfast you had, and it's like the more you show gratitude for these little things, the more happy you will be.
And I'd say that's probably the most important thing going back to traveling as well. Getting that perspective, a different perspective of someone, how someone else lives.
Right.
You've known as your whole life is just this is exactly how it is. Let's say in the UK, this is how it works. Philippines, they're some of the happiest people I've ever met. Yet some of them have got absolutely nothing. They live in tin huts on stilts on water.
Right.
But how are they so happy? Well, it's because they don't know obviously any different. But um, they're still content with what they have, and they're grateful that they can still do everything that they can in their lives and eat and be in a community. And there's a lot more community based out there.
Yeah.
Um, but they're very happy and content. And then you come here, and people might be miserable because I don't know, something happened on Love Island. I don't know, just like
Yeah, some random bullshit.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah,
trying to get
yeah,
at.
yeah.
So, um, being able, I guess that kind of has opened my mind up a lot after traveling. It's just that I've understood now that there's a lot more to life to be grateful for, and rephrasing it sort of a good way to think of things is that you get to do something like I get to go to work, I get to wear this, I get to drive a car, not like I have to go
Like
to
I
work.
have to, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because then when you shift that mindset, you then realize that you have got more things to be grateful for. A lot of people, there's someone out there who can't get a job,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
so that's
it's a
fine.
privilege to have a train station 10 minutes away from your house and be able to hop on that train and go to work, you know?
Yeah,
It's not something that uh, everyone has access to, right?
yeah,
Um, but going back to the environment part you mentioned earlier, I feel like your environment has a huge impact on your life, and the single best way to change your life is sometimes to change your environment. Like if you look at
yes,
if you go to a village somewhere in the Philippines or Thailand, wherever you've been, right? You might have noticed people are, although it's a small community, they know each other. Whereas
yes.
here in cities, it's like we're all so separated. Like, so I don't even know my next door neighbor. You know?
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I don't know any of my neighbors really. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But that's not the case if you were living in a village somewhere in East Asia.
yeah.
Like,
No,
everyone would know everyone,
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So like the single best way to change your life is
Change your environment
change your environment.
massively. I feel it really bad at the moment because I'm here from a little village in Norwich, and where the average person is probably 70. So like I can't walk out my house and then just do this. Like I've had to travel here today just to be here and do this. That's where I'm kind of like in this process of I'm just doing my apprenticeship and getting through it to the point where I want to be in an environment where I'm around more like-minded people.
Right.
So one of my mate who I mentioned who does content full time, partly the reason why he's been able to be so successful is because he's got that ability to travel around and be in that environment where he's going to be more likely to be successful, meet people that are doing the same thing as him. And I've seen it because I've been with him. I was in the Philippines with him. I was in Thailand with him. I really want to go to Bali. That's kind of like, I mean, it's
I've heard a lot of good things about Bali.
yeah, I mainly just go for the network. That's like a big part, and the lifestyle as well. Very sort of similar to what I've seen in Southeast Asia. But regardless, either whether it's Bali, whether it's Vietnam, wherever, that's in when you say surround yourself in that environment. That's how I see myself. Like that's definitely.
Would you say these experiences have made you more confident and like fearless?
Yes, yeah, I'd say confident. Fearless in the sense that
Like in the sense that there is an element of uncertainty when you have to go to another country, another place, because you don't know what's coming your way.
yeah, there's loads of uncertainty when you go to a new
Yeah,
country.
right.
Fortunately, the place I've been to so far haven't been to like every country has their own challenges,
Right.
and not all countries are like Thailand. Very easy to go to. I would not say like there's many sort of challenges, even though it's completely different to what we're used to here in different culture. They're very good towards the English from our perspective as well.
Right.
And very accommodating hospitality wise as well. So it depends where you go. I have not ventured to places that are more challenging to navigate and aren't so good with English speaking tourists. But yeah, when it comes to I'd say I'm less fearful, 100%. The more I've done it, so
Would you recommend traveling?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To like a 20-year-old, would you?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, okay, it would be an expense, but I don't regret spending
What are some
money.
of the things you've learned from going to these places? Like, has
Uh,
it opened your mind in one way or the other?
yeah, I'd say yeah, well, going back to the point of probably like perspective, I just guess it's partly of just understanding how a whole different culture operates. Then you can learn from it yourself and apply it to your own life already. Let's say, for example, even if it's just like I've only been away for 2 weeks at a time when I've gone places just to fit in with work and my life. But even from experiencing that and coming back, and you think, oh yeah, like things aren't so bad. I'm not saying that because like in other places, like I'm grateful for what I have based off what I've seen, but also it's very nice. Like I'd recommend it because it just gives you another way because it's not only one way to live life,
Yeah.
and there's so many intricacies of how people live all across the world, and you can't go through your whole life just experiencing one.
I hear you. Yeah. I mean, there's probably people out there as we speak who've spent their entire life in just one location, in just one environment, and they just don't know what it's like to live in a different part of the world.
Exactly that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And I think it limits your mindset, is all, isn't it?
yeah. Exactly. That's what I mean. You just need to get perspective
Hmm.
and travel.
What about self-improvement? What do you think about self-improvement? Do you think it's embedded in our day-to-day life, or it's a task that you have to sort of do separately?
You have to make your life. You have to embed it within your day-to-day life because it's more about the small habits that you have rather than really trying to go out there and improve yourself. It's just all about little things that you do on a day-to-day basis. For example, for me, like a really key one was just making sure just turn up to the gym. Like that's probably like the biggest like first hurdle for a lot of people is just to just get in the gym more. Um, it depends obviously what you're trying to work towards, but there's a lot of small nuances that you can change. Like very small, people don't realize just by just changing a couple little habits will make such a difference over a long period of time. I think people have to be more long-term minded rather than trying to see the short-term
Yeah.
gratification
Yeah.
from just, oh yeah, I'm just going to go really hard next week in the gym, and then they just go that week and then they don't go the next. Like it doesn't work like that. You have to
Yeah. Yeah.
embed it into your life.
I mean, one of the things I believe in is literally, it links to what you said earlier, which is that it's about the insignificant things that you do on a daily basis that create significant results over a certain period of time. It's like a snowball effect that kicks in,
Yep. Compound effect.
Yeah,
Yep.
you going to the gym once a month for 4 hours not going to get you the results. You going to the gym every day for 45 minutes is what's going to get you the results.
Exactly.
Right? It's not about like intensity, it's about consistency.
Yeah.
Just doing something. And it also requires a lot of discipline. Like that's where people mess up, because you have to tap into that mindset.
I'd say I think everyone knows realistically like what they have to do. It's just doing it. It's just like being consistent. That's the biggest hurdle that people face. I'd say people know they need to go to the gym. People know they need to eat healthy, but it's doing it consistently.
I was watching what's his name? Chris,
Yes.
that podcaster. What's his name? God, how can I forget
Yeah.
his name? I actually watch him every day.
Shaved head.
Yeah. Chris Williamson, thank you.
Williamson, yeah.
I was watching him the other day and he said something that flipped the switch in me.
Yeah.
He said, people are not stressed because they're doing too much. They're stressed because they're doing too little of what they care about. And it goes back to what you said earlier, which is we know what we have to do to improve. We just choose not to do it because we procrastinate.
Yeah.
If we were to just get our shit together and do what we have to do, you would see results in your life within like a week.
Do you go gym?
Yeah. I mostly do Muay Thai. That's my.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do go to the gym as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Focus on strength conditioning.
Yeah. So for your example, then, how long have you been going to the gym? Like.
So I've been going to the gym for a couple of years, but
Couple years.
consistently only recently.
Okay. Do you find that since going to the gym, you've been able to improve in other aspects of your life?
1000%.
Yeah?
1000%. I'll tell you something, right? So I am known for coming late.
Okay.
I'm known for coming late. On a couple of occasions, I was late to my Muay Thai classes. And my coach was like, if you come 20 minutes late, that gets deducted from your 1 hour session. I was like, okay. So I started coming to my Muay Thai sessions on time. In fact, I would get there 10, 15 minutes early. And as a result of that, I started getting to work on time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what I
Well, we were early today.
Yeah, I was early today. Exactly. Right? It's what I call the domino effect, right? So if you have the courage to push one domino, the next thing you know is all the other dominoes end up falling in your life, and it creates this loop of positive reinforcement.
Yes.
Like if you start going to the gym consistently, your confidence goes up, right? Your confidence goes up, your social skills get better, right? Your social skills get better, you do well in an interview. If you do well in an interview, you've just increased your chances of landing that job.
Yes.
Is what I believe in.
Yeah.
Very, very deeply. Like,
well, just on the point of the gym, I kind of view it as the core pillar to, if we're talking about self-improvement, it's a must. It's everything, as you said, evolves, I believe so, off looking after yourself physically and your health. Because, say, for example, like you're trying to run a business, but that whole business is mainly supplied off one person being yourself. So you, as the business, have to be in good health and have to be like in order to run the business efficiently, pretty much.
Yeah.
If you were like really ill and weren't looking after yourself, and like to the point where you're like in bed loads, and then also like not only is that going to have an effect on the time and amount of effort you'll be able to put into your business, but also just health wise, if you're not looking after yourself, and you're going to have like get brain fog, feel lethargic, and then you want to have the habits that come with the gym, like building discipline. That's the easiest way to build discipline, I believe, into someone's life. And as you just rightly said, like doing classes at like Muay Thai is perfect other way of going about being on top of your fitness and your health, because then you embed in those habits of like you have to turn up on time.
Yeah.
And there's no shortcuts of that, like there is no shortcuts to anything else. That way you're gonna be able to excel in other areas based off that.
Yeah. So would you say that gym is the single best way to start your self-improvement journey if you're new to this entire space?
That's how I did. That's how I started. Yeah. I first started going to the gym when I was the legal age, so 15, 16. So I've been going to the gym for 8 years, like consistently. Throughout that time, I've had sort of, you will get setbacks. For me, I've had setbacks with my health. I think one of the biggest things when I started, so I got diagnosed with what's called ulcerative colitis, which is basically a long-term um, illness or disease of the large intestine. So I lost a load of weight. I was underweight for myself. I was 17 years old. So I've been going to the gym for a year, but I've naturally always been really skinny, and with a low body fat. And I really wanted just to go to gym and bulk up and just be bigger and look like I can again more masculine, I'd probably
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
And um and then yeah, I had that and I lost a load of weight. So I got put on medication for it and then I gained like 2 stone in a year. Like, it was really quick. Some people thought I was on roids when I was in sixth form, but no, I've never taken anything.
So you're all natural.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Got a very good physique
Oh,
for someone who's naturally. Yeah.
yeah, no, I would never even consider it because the health implications just aren't worth it. And also it's not for what it's not for the reason why I go to the gym. I go to the gym now just to maintain my health and my physique. And so I'm able to do the things I want to do. Like, I'm able to try all these sports because I've got this base physique that I can rely on to try all these things. Like, for example, when I started the gym, I would have never stepped into a Muay Thai class when I like a 16-year-old me
Right.
versus what I was as a like 21-year-old me with a better physique. Um, so yeah, going back to the gym. So yeah, I went through this whole process of bulking up, going to the gym, and I went on a mad bulk, but I wasn't so healthy, and that's another element of it, of being able to actually not just see it as like, oh, I want to get massive because that was my goal originally, but to actually really maintain my health because my skin was getting really bad. I went through a period of having bad acne on my back, and it's just it's not great.
Yeah.
And I'd much rather just be all round healthy and just like with longevity of my life. Like, I want to live for a long time, so
Course.
as anyone would. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to do roids. That's completely against sort
But
of.
what motivated you to go to the gym and get bigger? Was it external validation, or was it just wanting to be a better version of yourself? Like you just want to look in the mirror and be proud of yourself, feel masculine.
Definitely a bit of both. I would be lying if I said like I didn't want it for some sort of external validation.
Right.
But even now, I don't necessarily care what people would think of me, whether I go to the gym or not. I mean, I wear clothes that don't really show off my physique anyway, so I kind of, well, not all the time. I sometimes wear like, you'll see me in like black, slim fit t-shirts, but like today, for example,
Yeah.
and that's because, I mean, there's two sides to it. One is the attractiveness side to it. Like, people go to the gym to
Yeah.
um look more attractive and hopefully like like people do it just to get girls. I've never gone down that route. I've never like said like, oh, I just go to, because from videos that I've done where I've literally asked girls that question, a lot of them actually prefer dad bods. I mean, it depends who you
Really?
speak to. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the girl, but
That's interesting. Yeah,
yeah. So I just do it for myself because I can't wake up in the morning and like, if I didn't have a six pack, I just would feel crap about myself.
I get.
So, and I've always known to be like this. So yeah, without trying to sound like narcissistic, that's just I know I spend a lot of time and put a lot of effort into my physique. So I'm happy to say that that's kind of like I feel grateful when I can like just like look at myself, I guess, and see.
Yeah, but you have
But
to be proud of yourself, right?
yeah,
Because
I guess,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
if you think of your body as just one big block of stone, like you've carved yourself out of this
yeah,
stone, you know?
yeah.
And that requires effort and it requires discipline, which you've put
Yeah.
in. So feeling proud of yourself is the reward you get afterwards, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, how was your Muay Thai experience like in Thailand?
So yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love Muay Thai, man.
you do, yeah.
Yeah, I love.
You do it consistently.
I
Yeah.
do consistently. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would try to go to the gym once a week.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. So I've literally just done it on the one off.
Right. Right.
So that was a just a legit place in Thailand
Mm.
and in Koh Samui. That's where it was, and did it with one of my mates, well, the same I mentioned, and he had done it before a couple times, so he sort of understood. But I just went in complete fresh mind, had no idea what I was getting myself into. The only
Right.
experience I'd had with sparring anything was who you previously had on, Dan. I've sparred him in boxing.
Right.
Um,
Sounds pretty good.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like,
Pretty good. Yeah.
I've had no background with fighting. That's like the next stage up for me. Like,
Okay.
I've always just been the guy that just like, I just work out
Right.
and I play sports. I don't fight.
Yeah.
But that's a whole element of like a really uh cool element, I'd say, to like if we're talking about like self improvement with guys.
Yeah.
I mean, in girls as well. There was a girl in my class as well, but in terms of the whole self improvement, like learning self defense is a big part of it.
100%. I mean, I one of the things I believe in is that every man should know how to fight.
You believe that?
I
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
very firmly believe in
That's,
that
that's
because
good.
when you can walk down the street at 3 a.m. in the morning knowing you are capable of fighting, it's that confidence that you get, that you feel in that moment is just different.
Yeah,
And as Bruce Lee said, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than to be a gardener in a war, right? And I feel like with fighting, you have that leverage. It's like a weapon you have that you can utilize
yeah.
anytime.
And I'd say like the whole point of that is to not have to use it. It's just there if you need it.
Yeah, 100%,
Yeah,
100%. Because you look, you never know, when you'll get in that situation, right? Like it's better to know how to fight when you're in that situation than to not know, right?
yeah. But going back to what you said with Muay Thai, I'd say the whole experience, I'd say is just better just to, because for me, I've never known anything like it. Very culturally, yeah, it's very like culturally um, moving experience because when I go to these places, I want to experience the culture as best as possible. I don't want to go somewhere and just sit on a beach. And I felt like that was the closest thing I could get to experiencing the Thai culture as such.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a lot of people there who, so I was at a hostel at the time. A lot of people there go and you can get what I believe is a Muay Thai visa, but some guys were out there staying at a certain place and training there weekly. So there's a lot of guys who are doing this constantly. But yeah, I turned up and I'm not the most flexible people whatsoever. I'm very sort of, especially then, I was more sort of just stiff guy, like didn't really do too much cardio as well. So that was a big shock for me because it's obviously extremely cardio intensive.
Yeah.
But no, I love the experience. Like I wouldn't say I got hurt as well. That's the biggest fear people have when they should go to a class where you're learning a martial arts, especially something like Muay Thai or kickboxing. You feel like you're gonna get a smack in the face or something. I didn't, because I did a bit of sparring, but it was
Right.
more sort of kicks.
Yeah.
But I still am one of the Thai guys for conditioning on the body. But I guess they saw him and they thought, oh yeah, he can like take a hit or
Right.
something.
Right.
And they'd stand on us.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that in the video.
Yeah, yeah. So they did that right at the end, and I felt that definitely. A whole guy's body weight on my stomach.
Yeah.
But again, that's like a great way just to, because you got to, as a guy at some point, like it's good to experience pain, like physically as well as
What
emotionally.
strengthens you?
Yeah, exactly.
Pain is what strengthens you, man.
And that whole experience is massively humbling because
It's what builds your character, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys who, I'm thinking of now on the heads of like people that go to the gym. I know people that will go to the gym and get big and think, yeah, I'm the guy, like I'm the man, I'm big. My mate, he probably won't care me saying this. He's 6'5", and when we were there, I'm not even joking. Like the Thai guys, they're probably like 5'5", 5'4". Literally, like would floor him. Like when I say floor, but they're like sparring, and we're just sort of kicking and stuff. And all he does wait for him to kick, and he just swipes his leg out, and as easy as that, and he's on the
Skill.
floor. And so it's a massively humbling experience, and I'm a great believer in vouching for people in going to do experiences that will humble you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is a box I need to tick. I feel like if you're someone who does Muay Thai, you need to go to Thailand. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
looking into it, in fact.
I'm really grateful that I made that video because not only is it performed well for me, but the best part about it is so many people messaged me and commented saying that that they were going to do it. Like they were like, yeah, I'm sold. I'm going to do Muay Thai in Thailand
It's
now.
like a life-changing video. That video can convince someone to go out there and experience a totally different life that they've never ever like seen before.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
So
I think the actual video itself, as I said, yeah, it's my most view. It's coming up to 1.1 million now, and the reach on that is something like 16, 17 million.
yeah,
So, I never, honestly, it was one of those ones where it's like, yes, I spent a lot of time preparing and editing it, but I never thought it'd do as well as it
yeah,
would.
yeah.
It's literally just purely the topic of the video that people were very interested. So a lot of people said I need to try it again. So maybe I will one day.
With all the traveling you've done, with the mindset that you have, with the job, the money that you've made, social media, would you consider yourself a success?
No, I like to see it as, well, some people. Let me rephrase that. I'd say I'm content with where I'm at, but I'm never satisfied
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
because I know there's so much more that I can achieve. But I'm grateful, I guess, for my age and what I've achieved. I'd say that's probably, even though it's very easy to compare. Like I've been in that trap of comparing myself to the likes of people that are really, really successful. When you look online, there's so many people like Iman Gardzi, but then it's like, how many Iman Gardzis exist?
Yeah,
So
but I think a bit of healthy comparison is always
yeah,
necessary. It's just you should be careful when it gets toxic, you know?
yes, yeah.
Do you have any regrets?
So when it comes to regrets, I like the idea that I always think of the idea that I'd have no regrets because every decision I've ever made has made me get to this point where I am now,
Yeah, yeah,
and every mistake I've made has got to this point now. However, if I could go back and do things differently after now learning from my mistakes, yeah, of course, there's
there are
something.
certain things you would do differently.
Yeah,
But you don't have any regrets.
no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, it's exactly how I look at it as
The
well.
same.
Yeah, 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 yeah. If you were to ask me if I have any regrets or not, I would say no. And part of the reason is because I have trained my mind to look at life the way it is rather than the way I want it to be. And that is the reason why I don't have any regrets. It's like so many people, they wake up and they let all these petty things get to them. Like,
Yes.
it's raining. The
Yeah.
coffee's too strong. Why is this train taking so long? Like this, that. It's like these things are not in our control. It's raining, so what? Get an umbrella.
They're just very mundane things that
Yeah.
people get worked up on, and they, as you said, they let little things make them like ruin their day.
Yeah.
One small thing will happen that's their day ruined, and it's a personal skill and a life skill that a lot of people need to learn. It's just to be able to go through stuff and just be happy and just be content and be able to put on a smile, and I'm not saying fake it, don't fake,
don't
but,
fake it.
but just be able to see the positive in things.
Yeah, I mean, there's always an opportunity in chaos somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if it's raining outside and rain pisses you off, grab a cup of tea and sit by the window and read a book.
Yeah, yeah.
There's an opportunity there to turn that experience around,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
that's something that I've sort of trained my mind on, to have that perspective and not let these, petty things affect my mood.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. But when it comes to regrets, if you're looking for something like in particular that you feel like I've regretted, I mean, I'd probably say when I was 18, going back to sort of money, I've put money on a pedestal before, where I've just been like, I say no to things because I see the opportunity cost of doing something over working. So say, for example, I used to work in retail, and when I was 18, I was earning, let's say about £100 a day, just working in a shop or wherever. If my mates were like, no, let's go out, and I'd be like, that would cost me £100 that I'm not earning in opportunity cost plus of what I'm going to spend by going out. So no, I'm going to work and earn.
yeah.
But there were certain occasions that I did miss out on things that we only did at that age. So what I'm trying to say is I would regret not having more of a balance, because you are only 18 once and you are only 19 once, vice versa. You're every age once, but you've just got to make sure to still live a little bit. And I say live, I'm not talking about go out and get pissed. I'm not saying that. I'm saying just to not lock yourself away all the time, because that's what I find myself doing. I made a video. You might be aware of what monk mode is. So Iman Gardzi.
Yeah.
So, but for those that don't understand, basically it's where you set yourself a load of non-negotiables that you're going to do, and for a prolonged period of time, you stay consistent with them. And how he does it, Iman Gardzi, and it's kind of pretty much how I sort of base my life off, is I will go through a lot of the year, let's say 9 months of the year, I will spend focusing on my physique, just working. I'm trying to get better with my faith as well. That's another thing that I'm trying to work on, and my health. And that's pretty much it. That's it, and family. That's it. That's my priority.
I love how family orientated you are. Like the amount of times you've mentioned kids in the
Okay,
video.
yeah, okay. Well, I mean, sorry, yeah. Maybe I don't show it as because I'm not very. I wouldn't say I'm an affectionate person at all. Like I'm not a hugger or anything like that. But I still.
Yeah, there are values and principles that you live your life on. You know.
Yeah.
I totally respect that, and I understand that because I am the same in some sense.
Yeah.
But if there was one piece of advice you were to give, or a sort of a philosophy that you live your life on, what would it come down to?
Cool. There's two quotes that I quite like.
Shoot.
So there's one, and I'm not going to say the series of it. You might be able to guess. Or there's one where it's like, I don't have dreams, I have goals. In other words, instead of just thinking I want to be wealthy, I want to have money, I want to have X, Y, Z.
You've outlined steps to get there.
Outline steps and be specific. What do you actually want? I want to be rich. Or, okay, what does that look like? What's your actual income look like? How are you going to do that? Where are you going to be living? Who are you going to be with? Like that sort of thing. So, but really sort of have it in your head, because that's what I kind of do. Like I always play back in my head, what do I want my life to look like in 10 years time, and just be really specific.
Yeah. Have like a 10-year goal in your mind. Like be visionary. Where will your life be in the next 10 years?
Yeah.
What's the other quote?
Very, really simple and common is, we briefly touched on it earlier, is your network is your net worth. I definitely vouch for that.
Totally agree with you.
My mates who are really close in the content space have helped me loads to get where I am. Even if I don't directly ask them something, they help me. I'm learning a lot off them because we're all doing the same thing. And I've been able to meet so many other people that I've not even mentioned this, that since making content, I've been invited to a couple YouTube events hosted by YouTube creators themselves. And
right.
I did one in Soho in London last year, and sort of like open bar, did bowling, just sort of a big networking event, could meet people. And I was able to do a couple YouTube collabs off the back of that.
Right.
And it was just like one night, and I thought, even Dan, who had on this before me,
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
He reached out to me from a video, and
I mean, you're here right now because of Dan.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I totally agree. Like the power of networking is immense. It's immense. We've been sitting here for an hour and 30 minutes.
Oh, we have?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's gone quick.
I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to you for coming all the way from Norwich to, sit in front of this camera and have a conversation with me. It does mean a lot to me, and I think we've had a great conversation.
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, no, I appreciate you letting me come on. I look forward to seeing this when it comes out.
Yeah, most definitely. Anyway, thanks a lot, Ben.
Yeah, thank you.